Now, President Trump meeting with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelenskyy at the White House. The meeting comes days after a meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin about ending the war in Ukraine. The two talked about setting up a meeting with the three of them in the near future.
We're going to work with Ukraine. We're going to work with everybody, and we're going to make sure that if there's peace, the peace is going to stay long-term.
The president says an overall peace agreement, not a ceasefire, is what's needed to end the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The president is expecting a call from President Putin once his meeting with Mr. Zelenskyy is over. The ball is now in Ukraine's court. That's President Trump's message to Ukraine's president ahead of this high-pressure meeting at the White House. Let's bring in Caroline Shively more from Washington. Hi, Caroline.
Hi to you, Garcia. Presidents Trump and Zelenskyy are now meeting with European leaders behind closed doors at the White House. It is a very different meeting than the one we saw back in February between Zelenskyy and Trump. It has been very cordial. There's been no yelling. Now, President Trump did once again decline to make a ceasefire a prerequisite for any peace deal, but he did say the U.S. would provide Ukraine with, in his words, very good protection.
Will you commit to not killing any more civilians?
Today's talks come just 3 days after a summit between Trump and Russian President Putin, and 6 months after an Oval Office meltdown between Trump and Zelenskyy.
You didn't have our military equipment. You invited me.
Trump is hoping for a comprehensive peace deal, but Secretary of State Marco Rubio says major hurdles remain, especially over how much land the Ukrainians will have to concede.
These are hard issues that remain. You know, the conversation about where the territorial lines are going to be.
But Special Envoy Steve Witkoff said the Russians offered a major compromise, security guarantees for Ukraine that would essentially be the same as NATO membership.
They would attest to not violating any European borders, so we got through quite a bit.
It's not clear if that will be enough to win over skeptical Ukrainian officials after more than 3 years of war.
They are coming to Washington to show that this is the best possible deal, and I think it will be a very positive step for Ukraine.
The two presidents are being joined by leaders from key NATO allies like France and the UK, hoping to present a united front as Trump ramps up the pressure to make a deal.
Do I think President Trump wants peace? Yes. I don't think President Putin wants that. I think he wants the capitulation of Ukraine.
And Garcia, as you mentioned, Trump plans to speak with Putin on the phone after this European leader meeting wraps up. It's unclear if we will get a specific time and date for a trilateral meeting between Putin, Trump, and Zelenskyy, but that is certainly what the Ukrainians would like. Garcia, back to you.
Caroline Shively, live in Washington. Thank you.